Listen, a 10-8 round is just stupid, but Alexa Grasso did win. The numbers, they don't lie. Hey, what's up, fight nerds? This is your boy Grasso. I want to welcome you to Enter the Nerd. Today, we're talking about the rematch between Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko. This happened on, Mexican Independence Day? That was on Saturday. Okay, this is now a very controversial match. Some of it, actually most of it, is really just because of the judging. That 10-8 scoring that happened for round 5. I just want to get this out the way. That's completely stupid. I think all of us can agree, whether you thought Valentina won or Grasso won, that was a really dumb scoring. However, I do believe that Alexa won, but I'm going to back it up with numbers, and it's not just a feeling, right? So let's just get into like a brief overview of what happened in the fight. So obviously, the thing that I think all of us could see, Valentina had a beautiful jab this entire fight. She was leading very well with that. Also, Grasso had a really good time getting up from the takedowns, which in the first fight, that was one of the hardest things, is whenever Valentina would get her down, Alexa really couldn't get up that much. And she would always let Valentina get to her hips so quickly. Also, Alexa Grasso had an amazing knockdown in the second round as well. And you can see that she also learned, okay, so you know what? I was in conventional. Every time I'm in conventional, I get hit with a kick. Let's make sure I stay in southpaw. She did that in the beginning, but every now and again, she would start off in, this is conventional. Start off in conventional and then end up in southpaw just to throw off Valentina's rhythm. Now, Valentina obviously landed a lot behind that jab, but you can see that there was always a problem whenever they were within boxing range. Especially whenever Valentina got hit with something flush, we knew there was a difference. And I remember in the talks leading up to this fight, you heard Valentina talk about there being, I'm going to show her why I'm the 17-time Muay Thai champion. Understood. So I'm thinking, this is going to be a striking extravaganza. Now, obviously, there was a lot of really good striking on display, but as soon as that, her left foot was taken away, there wasn't a lot of kicking. And she definitely wanted those takedowns because she didn't like how certain things felt. Rightfully so. This is mixed martial arts, so I really don't blame her for doing what she did. But it was just interesting to see that. I thought she would have stayed standing up and would have really wanted to get that knockout. Well, she probably did. But I think even in the second fight, she realized, okay, that's probably not the smartest thing for me to do. Because when it came to, and even Alexa, she had some pretty nice low calf kicks. Her high kicks were obviously very awkward. That's not something that she really likes to do, or even is good at doing, let's be honest. But she was good at bouncing in and out of range and kind of getting the feints and getting Valentina to move back or sometimes like be offbeat. It was really cool. It was really cool to see that. Alexa, she definitely grew. You can see that with how she was on the ground, how she was with her guard. And I do think that when it comes to Valentina, when it comes to grappling, when it comes to getting up the judo trips and the hip throws, she's really good at that. But she does have some deficiencies by way of jiu-jitsu because she did have that guillotine. She did have that, but her hips just were not in the right spot, which is why Alexa was just sitting there like, okay, I can be calm. She's not placing her hips in the right place, so let me just sit here. And eventually she got out. I see she has like a weird deficiency when it comes to certain techniques on the ground. Can she get to like arm bar? Does she like understand it? But I've noticed when people are proficient at jiu-jitsu, she has a hard time either A, getting out of what they do, or really transitioning like in certain guards. Obviously, she's really good at the crucifix, but that's like her best ground move, we'll say, right? Besides that, it could be a bit shaky. It doesn't mean that she's not proficient at grappling as a whole, because I think she's excellent at judo, trips, hip throws, things that come from like a headlock. She does like really, really good stuff. Double legs sometimes. Like she telegraphs a lot actually when it comes to shooting. I'm gonna say that she does telegraph a lot. And a lot of her grappling strength comes from just her being physically stronger than a lot of the people that are in her division. I'll say that. It's not like a shot at her. It's just some people have inherent weaknesses and some people have inherent strengths. And obviously her striking and just her ability to mix it up and her fight IQ is what makes her an amazing fighter. And Alexa is really coming into her own by showing that obviously, even though she leans towards being a boxer, her grappling skills are great, being within her guard, actually, even when she was on her back, delivering quite a bit of strikes because she knew how to really maneuver herself and really elevate her hips when she was supposed to. It was excellent. Now, let's get to the nitty gritty here. Okay, I thought at the end of this fight that she won rounds 2, 4, and 5. That's what I thought just from looking at it, right? And obviously, Mike Bell, that referee, thought that, okay, I'm going to give her a 10-8 and then have Valentina win round 4, which was absolutely stupid by itself. But let me tell you why. This is not just from me watching it, because obviously all I said was 2, 4, and 5. Once I got a chance to look at the numbers per round, I was rather surprised by what I saw. I was surprised at some things, and then I wasn't surprised. So, as you can see here, in round 1, the significant strikes are extremely close, but the total strikes for that round are not at all, and they favor Grasso. So technically, and obviously, Valentina had some control time here, but if you look at the almost 40 strike difference between Alexa and Valentina, that a minute and change of control time, which didn't have much of anything on it, you can't give that to Valentina. Technically, Alexa won that round by those numbers, right? Because remember, it's about strikes first, then control time. And she beat her in the strikes. So I didn't think that she won round 1. That wasn't in my brain, but according to the numbers, she did. Also in round 2, you also see that difference. There was also that knockdown as well. And they both had a little bit of a ground time, not much for Grasso and a little bit for Valentina. I mean, a lot for Valentina, because that was 3 minutes and 30 seconds, something like that, because obviously Alexa got really, really excited. But look at the numbers. Look at the totals. It still favors Alexa. Now, round 3 was most obviously Valentina, and the numbers favor that as well. Look at round 4, which I don't know how anyone could score that for Valentina, because once again, look at the numbers. The numbers support it. This is when Valentina tried to put her hand on the ground to stop the knee strikes, which is obviously, that's not part of the rules. That's not really being a downed opponent. That's just you trying to stop it. And I'm glad Herb looked at that and let that go. So, once again, we have 3 rounds so far where the numbers support Alexa winning the round, right? If we believe in the numbers, right, we might not understand what we're seeing, or we might believe certain things because of our biases. But as of right now, it's 3 rounds to 1. Now let's look at the 5th round, the most controversial round, because obviously, maybe not one. The 4 might be the most controversial, but whatever. 5 became controversial because of Mike Bell scoring. But let's just get to this here. Look at the significant strikes and look at the total strikes. Those are obscenely close. There's quite literally a 1 strike differential when you put all those together. And Valentina's got like at least 1 more strike, literally. So if something's that close, what becomes a difference maker? Maybe that control time. Because if it's just 1 strike difference, but a person has a minute something, who does that go to? And let's just say for some reason you wanted to give round 5 to Valentina. There are 3 other rounds where the numbers say that she lost. So let's just say at the least 3-2, the most 4-1. And that's not me looking at it, because I didn't think it was 4-1. But look at the numbers. Remember, we have to go. The reason why they even collect these numbers is because obviously a sport is about scoring. It's not just about the visual, because this number is an accumulation of what actually happened. They're counting these up. So we can't ignore this. This is not lying. All right. And a lot of people didn't have access to this when they first saw it, but it doesn't matter. At this point, you can't be like, oh man, they're cheating Valentina. Sure, the 10-8 was stupid, but then you can't actually act like after seeing this that she won. The numbers do say that she lost. Now, when she was in the post-fight press conference and she says, in round 5, she didn't land anything until she got my back for. These numbers don't agree with that. If you watch the fight, even though she landed more on the feet, definitely in round 5, she definitely got hit. Unless you're going to say that over 60 punches she got hit with, on the ground only. And it's not true, obviously, because when we watched it, Alexa was also trying to go for a choke half the time that she was down there. So she wasn't always throwing punches. And that's the only thing that kind of sucks. Is like Valentina is an excellent champion, but when it comes to like either controversial decisions or losses, she's not a very good loser. She really isn't. And that kind of sucks because she could have just said, hey, I feel like I won the match because I forgot, I did my thing. But instead it's, oh, she didn't land anything. Come on now. Stop. She didn't land a single punch. Really? She didn't land a single punch? This was similar to the whole Nunes situation. People who are her fans, mind you, count me as one of them. I'm a huge Valentina Shevchenko fan. But you have to be honest about what it is. She fought Amanda Nunes twice. The first one, nobody argues that Amanda Nunes beat her. The second one, everyone's like, oh my God. It has to have been a robbery because look at the numbers again. Pretty much in like every single round, she's getting outlanded. So where are we getting this from? I don't even understand how, with the numbers present, how people can still have these weird arguments as if they don't exist. It's one thing if nobody kept score, nobody kept strike accumulations, and we all just have to go by whatever it is we see and we have to go by our belief. But after these things get released, why aren't we going by these metrics? I get it if the metrics were only like total strikes and they didn't break it down round by round, because that doesn't really tell you anything, because it could be 300 strikes to 200, right? Imagine. And broken up round by round, that could be different because someone could literally land like 100 strikes in like one round. Let's just say they dominated a round, but that doesn't mean they won the entire fight. But if you see it round by round and it's telling you that story, sorry I'm harping on this, but it's just something that happens with multiple fights and people call it robberies. Once you have this information, how can it still be that? Either way, what's the aftermath? Should they fight again? I mean, they labeled it a draw. There was one finish. I mean, I'm not against this because even though she kept the belt, it's technically not a win for her. So yeah, I'm down for a trilogy, but I'm also down if they fight somebody else in between just to keep the division moving as well. I'm down with either one of them, but I do think at some point they do have to, even if they don't fight each other next, if Alexa beats the next person and Valentina beats the next person, they have to be each other's next opponent after that. They have to be. Is it going to be Erin Blanchfield or Manon Fiorot, if that's her name? Hopefully, I probably butchered that. But if that's her, but if it's one of those two or those two fight each other, I don't know. But it was a very good fight. Alexa showed a lot of growth. Valentina also adjusted and did some cool things, especially with that jab, because that jab was beautiful. But just to repeat what was in the intro to this video, what I've been saying, the numbers point to Alexa winning. And whether you're a fan of one or the other, if you believe in the total strikes and you believe and you understand what the rules are, which is strikes first, control time second, then how did she not win? Right? But yeah, let me know what you think. Let's talk about it in the comments. Into the Nerd.